Back with another episode of Keeping Current with Kansas City. This is Thad Bell from the Kansas City Soccer Journal. I have a really special guest with me today, PJ Green. Man, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to be a really special guest.
Well, I've got to know you over the last couple of years, man. You like to give me a lot of crap, but I enjoy it. So,
Hey, it's just part of me, and you know what? I appreciate getting to know you over these past couple years. So,
and I do give you crap back at times too. So,
hey, that's how it goes.
yep. And just so people, if somebody doesn't know you, you are Fox 4 News, Kansas City. That correct?
Yep, Fox
And
Sports. Yep.
you are one of the three people I would say is regularly at a current practice to or presser or whatever. So
Yeah.
I know a couple years ago, man, you weren't necessarily a huge soccer guy, but you were very invested in learning, and I gotta say I think you've done a really good job of that so far.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's me. I'm just a lover of sport. So soccer is always one I was on the outs of. Always kind of kept an eye to it, So I knew like the big names. I knew like if World Cup was going on, you turn in the every so often U.S. national game, whether it's men or women's, But yeah, being in Kansas City, you gotta know your soccer if you're gonna do sports. So diving straight into it and really enjoying it. So
Yeah, and again, I appreciate that you are pretty dedicated to being out there for the current and covering them. That's one reason I even do this stuff is like for so long local media didn't cover soccer at all, so
yeah, yeah,
I gotta.
exactly. Yeah, with my position, I can pretty much kind of do what I want. So, especially when we get to these summer months when Chiefs aren't really doing anything or Royals might be already out of it, it's always good to fall back on soccer and not fall back, but it's always good to be on
Focus.
soccer. Yeah, so it's good to have that as the singular focus, especially when there's nothing else to kind of crowd it.
True. All right. Current have got off to a pretty good start, man. What did this last home game? 4-2 win. It was a little iffy there, but fortunately the VAR Yeti helped them out a little bit. But you kind of got famous there for the Yeti call, man, for the box.
Yeah, the VAR Yeti. I actually just finished up a story about it coming out on fox4kc.com. Yeah, first time we saw Timoir and Bia starting, and they both pretty much played. They both played 90. But I know, Bia kind of went out early next time, but yeah, like they both kind of played the full match for the most part, and just electric. I mean, just electric. And then Vanessa, she's been having a really good stretch of games there, and kind of showing what she showed last year when she wasn't injured. So always good to see her. She's been facilitating so well and handling that midfield. Um, I know everyone's worried about the conceding goals, and I'm sure Vlatko is too, because big defensive guy, he hates that. So that's the main focus there. But they've shown that if they can just keep on scoring, then they could beat anyone. They could play with anyone.
Yeah, that's been fun, man. I mean, I got it. Like you said, Vlaco's known as a defensive guy, but at the same time, as an outsider looking in, a 4-2 win is more fun than a 1-0 win.
Always people will take the goals every time. Like it's
And they get those celebrations in.
Yeah, we haven't seen the celebrations yet, and I know folks are a little rowdy about the celebrations. I just hope they come. I don't. I'm not here to judge about if he's making them not celebrate or not. Block has already said he's not worried about them celebrating. He just wants them to be humble in just personality. But yeah, I think the more that the season goes on, the more that they'll feel comfortable with like having everyone in as a new system. Just because last year and in the past years that they've had mostly the same roster, so like they've and most of and the same coach and staff, so they felt comfortable. And it's you would love to see Lola Bonta celebrate, a potential game-winning PK, but I mean it's the second game of the year, 77th minute, and it's like a whole new regime. So Yeah, I would for folks that want Selly's very bad. I was just telling them just give it a minute, just give it.
Yeah, I know. Because I actually asked Lo if she did do a celly because the broadcast cut away, so I wasn't sure she really did one or not. But the way she answered that, it kind of started the whole controversy there. And I know you tweeted that out, and uh, man, it showed up on Reddit and everywhere on social media, and people are finding new reasons to hate Vlaco, like he's trying to oppress these poor women from celebrating.
Yeah, that's part of why I'm like that's part of why I'm loving soccer, just because like the fans are rabid. I mean, like even more so the NFL fans. The NFL fans is kind of automatic, but soccer fans is just like because that tweet sat for like a good maybe 14, 16 hours. And then like I'm in Manhattan watching Kansas State women in like the second round of the tournament, and all of a sudden I just see notifications going off, and I'm like. They done found the tweet. They done found the tweet. Oh man, it's so good. So I love it. I love it. It beats other sports and stuff going viral.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I do really doubt that Vlaco's telling them not to do a real celebration, not just be happy or anything like that, but just I think it's just part of Vlaco's approach because even when like we ask him about a win, he's very methodical. That it's only one of 26, it's only two of 26, it's only three of 26. He's very methodical about that sort of thing.
Right.
But at the same time, he's the same guy that's jumping up and down when they score a goal. So
Exactly. And I do understand people that watched him with the US national team and being like, yeah, like he kind of took the joy away from a lot of those players. And I do get that because that happens. Those players talked about not having the joy to play soccer that they used to have when Blanco was head coach. So it is real, it is there, it is a concern to keep in mind. But it's not even me giving him the benefit of the doubt. It's just the fact that it's early, everything's new with him coming back to the club level. So like as the players like they're having fun. Winning's fun.
yep, winning's fun.
Winning's fun. We see Blanco have fun at training, so we see him have fun on the pitch.
All right.
So, I mean, they say they're having fun. So I mean, that's all we can take right now.
Like we were out there watching today, and I mean, he's at one point he's like, going up and acting like he's going to take the ball from players and just doing stuff like that. Man, he's just having some fun out there.
Yeah, Blanco does that. So hopefully it's not hopefully the same kind of concerns we heard with the national team don't come to the current where like they can keep having their fun and like they have in the current have a bunch of lively personalities. So I I I would stand confident in saying that those players would try to make the most fun of it as much as they can right now.
Yeah, no doubt. So back to this last game, like you said, Bia and Timoa both played for 90 minutes after Vlaco had said they were both going to be on limited minutes. And it was like, was he? I was so wondering there for a while. Was he just playing games with people, or because I know he said today, I got good news before the game that they'd be able to play more. But man, I still was a little bit wondering if he was just doing a little gamesmanship there.
Yeah. After the match, he's like, yeah, they passed the checkpoints. We had checkpoints. They kept passing them. I said, oh, just like an arcade racing game. Just checkpoint. Yeah. It's just we're passing checkpoints. So now they can play 30 minutes. Now they play 45. Oh, they can play 6. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
bonus time, man.
yeah, exactly. Bonus time. Like it's all that stuff. So again, it's early in the season, but at this point, I'm gonna be like, well, Flacco, we will see. We will see. It's not like covering other sports like NFL or NBA where they're like kind of required to tell you who's in and who's out, who's questionable, whatever. So
Well, I think they're required, but I think the category the rules around it are maybe a little bit more obtuse. I don't know if
yeah,
that's
they're a little lax, a little greasy. So thanks for the fake out. We are more than happy than to watch them, play for
yeah.
90 plus minutes, especially when they have performances like that where they're two of the best players on the field. I mean, just taking out one of the best defenders in the league and Sarah Gordon. I mean, just and
Yeah,
Paige Nielsen and Ollie Riley, just have them falling all over the place. And I'm like,
I was I was going through some of the photos from the game just like this afternoon. I haven't processed them all because had so much stuff going on, but I was going back to get some more available and stuff, and just watching, Bia come in and Sarah Gordon, because we know how good she is, man. She's such a good defender, and just tied her up and just left her like in the dust as she turns to go towards goal, and it's kind of just like reliving it, but in slow motion and stills.
I, I said, yeah, because I saw when I was watching like in the box, I saw like a defender fall. I saw it right open the wing, and I went back and I watched. I was like, is that Sarah Gordon? I said, that's Sarah Gordon fall.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't happen too often. She's too good.
No, that does not happen. But then I want to say later in the match, it might have been around the 60th or 70th minute. Um like Bia got a wide open touch in the box and Sarah Gordon's like matching her like step for step. And I'm like, yeah, and that's why she's still the
Yeah.
best. Matching her step for step, still gets the block in. Like, and that's why she's still the best because stuff can happen, but she'll always come back and fight her butt off.
Yeah, no, no doubt on that, man. I think that game probably would have been 7-2 if it hadn't been for Sarah Gordon, honestly.
I mean,
Man,
7-3. Hey, who knows? Like,
right.
oh
It has been fun though. Bia, I mean, I saw her play with Brazil and I've never been like, oh wow, that's just amazing. But seeing her in
mhm,
person has been a revelation, I guess. I don't know. Just
right.
size, speed, skill, just all the whole package. And then with Timoa next to her, who kind of matches her it's in a different way, but just like nobody's everybody's got to be just worried. Any defender out there right now has got to be like, oh man, I don't want to play that grouping right now.
Oh yeah. I think yeah, the fact that that was their first match of both of them playing together 90 plus and just all match just up and down the pitch defensively and offensively and in the midfield just wreaking havoc. And I mean we're giving credit to Alexis Spencer like yes because she is also playing well
Yeah,
but like she does not have the world class speed that
no,
that Bia and Timber have and I'm like man I'm if the media could if they have the media and all three of oh god I can't even think about that. That's way too much at this point. But yeah, like it's I for anyone that plays on that left wing that's not like Davinia playing alongside Tim Wall and Bia, it's like just go out there. Just get
oh
after it.
man, no. And Alexis played really well. I mean, she got the goal,
Yeah,
the nice header. Again, it was
really good header.
the Yeti giveth, the Yeti taketh away. Uh,
Yes.
but she got that goal and she's played really well. We talked to her before that game and how she wasn't really getting a lot of attention, but because of all the other stuff, and then she goes out and scores that goal. So I'm happy for her, but man, it is hard to talk about her as much as Bia and Timoa. Damn.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to compare it to like world class, like not just speed, but like just elite ball skills,
Yeah.
attack, just all of it.
It
But
was
yeah, I mean they're all playing well.
it was kind of funny in that last press conference. Somebody asked Vaco, "You talk about Timoa's speed a lot." He goes, "I did not do that."
Yes, yeah, yes. He said no, I did not, and that is very true. Like he is
Yeah,
not flat. Like that's one thing Vlaco does do is that he's like physical traits are like not like he doesn't really mention them.
right.
He mentions the tactical awareness, their like ability in space, how they handle the ball. He's not like oh they're the best athlete out there because
No,
that's just not his mo.
nope. And I mean, he might say something like they're quick to the ball or something like that, but he's not talking about like their pure speed or physical abilities. It's just that they are good at what they do, ball handling, that sort of thing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and soccer is the sport where you don't have to have blazing straight line speed because the game is so much more than just straight ahead. Like it's man,
it it's one sport where you can be almost any size and be really good. You just have to find the way to make the use of your abilities.
right. Yeah, that's also what I'm learning. Like seeing some men's soccer players out here like 5'3" and 5'4", and I'm like, what? They all and they're just dynamite.
Right.
Like because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They can do everything.
Because like the one player for Angel City came in was Spencer, and she's like really tiny and short, and she's a good player.
Yeah, it, that's one thing I'm loving about the sport is that like it's. I mean, you can be the greatest athlete, you cannot be the greatest athlete, you could be the fastest, you cannot be the fastest, but do you have the skills? Do you have the awareness to be where you're supposed to be in space? Like, do you know when to go forward, when to move back? Like,
Yeah, because it you can be purely smart and be a good player. You can be purely unskilled and be a good player. You can combine those together and be a great player, and you can combine physical ability and be an even greater player. So
yeah.
it's a it's a lot of fun, man. I'm glad you were buying into the soccer thing now, man.
Oh yeah. It's and
Not just
yeah,
me
just
now, but over the last couple of years.
no, but yeah, if you're doing sports around here and you're trying to be serious about it, you kind of have to. You can't just try to stick with. I mean, you could try to stick with Chiefs or whoever, but you'll be one in a thousand. Congratulations.
All right, so back into a little more about the actual talk about the team. They have struggled a little bit on defense. It seems like
Mhm.
it's been a lot of set pieces, but there's been some other goals given up too. Just what have you? Is there anything you've seen? Because you see it from a different angle than I do.
Right. I think yeah, Gabby and Ebal have been really good to start. I mean they face some tough matchups too. Ellie Wheeler is also playing well, especially in her first three starts as a rookie.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and her having to go against Sophia Smith and she's kind of held her own. I mean, that was very impressive. Yeah, losing Haley Mace does hurt a bit. Losing Haley Mace hurts a bit. I mean, Izzy is solid though. Izzy is solid, but yeah. Um,
Honestly,
yeah,
I like Izzy at that spot better than Haley. I'd like to see Haley
right.
like do a little go up farther, but that's me.
Yeah. I mean, Haley always says that she loves to be more up on the pitch anyway. So the fact that they keep throwing her on the back line, it's like, well, I'm sorry, Haley. You're just like this is where you're slotted right now.
Well,
So
finding room up top though is going to be hard.
yeah, it's a bit rough. That's a bit rough. But yeah, I mean they come against some tough matchups. Yeah, and sometimes I mean when Sophia Smith and Janine Becky are wide open in space and they make some goals like they did in the first match. I mean, yeah, sometimes you got to just give it up. So sometimes you got to give it up. But they played really well against San Diego. Holding San Diego to one goal is like no small feat.
Nope. It's and I'll be honest, man. I thought going into the year we'd see Stina Balasager and maybe Lauren as a pairing or Stina and Ebal as a pairing.
Right.
And no offense to Gabby because she came on so well last year as a rookie, but I just expected the slightly more experienced players to get the time. And it's been Ebal and Gabby Robinson, and man, they still need to get some stuff straightened out, but I think they're a great pairing.
Yeah, that's what I also was thinking about, especially when we got to some of the first trainings. And I'm like, oh yeah, Lauren's out here, Stina's out. I'm like, oh yeah, I like, man, they got some decisions to make.
Yep.
But I mean, we saw what do we have like 45 minutes in that first training
Yeah.
that we went out there? Yeah. Like, I mean, we saw all the make plays, but I mean, Abby and Ebal are just like Eball's over reliable. Like, she's been an over reliable center back for years. And Gabby was like kind of the one piece holding them together last year when Ebal wasn't there. So yeah, I mean they play really well. I mean, obviously got to be sharper on some things, but yeah, especially looking at Lauren, Lauren is as much experience that she has. I think she's only 21, which I thought she was much older. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, 21 or 22, she's really young, you're right. That's she's got that height to hopefully maybe help out on the center, the set pieces back there, the corner kicks and such forth, but again, can't argue with winning.
I mean, you can't argue with winning. And when I mean when your only goals are coming from set pieces, it I mean it's not where you want them to be, but I mean I think you'll take a set piece goal rather than giving up goals in open space.
Well, that first game they gave up, the run of play goals with Sophia Smith and Janine Becky, but
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah. Some of those were just you got to give it up to.
and
You got to give it up.
yeah, they're. I mean, you can't keep them down forever, and I think the team probably wore out a little bit in that first game faster just because of the excitement, the the
Yeah.
the
Oh,
hype.
yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. And I've also heard some people say that not like when Vanessa leaves the pitch that like it kind of the midfield kind of just goes into a little bit of chaos. So that also is a bit of it because Vanessa leaves kind of late in
It
the
is.
match. Yeah, that's when you see people start to get back. So Vanessa also an reliable, like so NWSL vet, like 10-year vet, and she's like, wow, I can't even she can't believe she's been in the league 10 years. So
And she's playing like, I mean, she's playing like she's a young in her prime, best she could be person.
yeah, yeah, it's man, it's really good to see, and it really makes you think that like man, if they didn't have all those injuries last year, like what could have been with her and Gautreau, who's also playing right now for Orlando.
Yeah.
Like
That's probably I guess that's probably their biggest weakness right now is who can replace Vanessa when she's not playing. That's
yeah,
Dabinia can be in that midfield role, but she's a little less of a creator like Vanessa is. I mean, she's much
right.
more of a go attack herself person.
Yes, yes, me the attacker. Yeah, I see some people say they like Lavager, and man, I mean, we haven't seen Lavager in so long. I'm like, I don't even know how she looks at this point. I mean, she came on late, um, against Angel City and did some things, but I mean, I would like to see more. That's what
Right.
I would say. I like to see more of Claire.
She's a big fan favorite of a lot of people, and she's a really nice person, really sweet and all that.
Oh
But
yeah,
I'm not as right now. If I would take Vanessa 10 times over Claire Lavoisier all the time.
yeah, yeah. I don't think anyone's wanting to replace, no one's wanting to replace Vanessa right now. But yeah, just yeah, I think that's gonna be the main factor going forward. Probably is if you don't want Vanessa going 90 plus, and who are you throwing in there? Because they got a host of players. Like we still haven't seen Sophie Braun.
Right.
We haven't seen. I think Steiglauder came on for a few minutes.
Yep.
Um,
Bailey Feist.
yeah, I must say I think Vice came on for a few minutes in San Diego. I want to say.
Uh, man, I'm not sure now, but
Yeah, I'm about to say I know Steiglauder came on. I'm not sure if Vice came on at all this season. But yeah, there are like a number of players who still have not played like 20 minutes of stuff there, and it's still first three matches of the year. So
yeah, it's but I mean, we just got to be able to get them in and close out games. That's the hard
yeah,
part right now is closing out those games.
and that's I mean Vlaco hates not being able to close it. Yeah, Feist hasn't hit the pitch yet
Right.
this year.
But other players that we haven't seen yet, Michelle Cooper, Nichelle Prince.
Hmm.
I mean, we only got to see Dabinia for 30 minutes or roughly. But
Right.
Nichelle, I gotta come up with like a good way of saying that without repeating their names.
Prince and Cooper.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'll do that. Prince and Cooper. Prince has speed and can play in that quick attack game really well. I think Cooper showed at times that she could play really well last year.
Hmm.
I felt like Cooper always needed to be better, was going to be better on a team that was able to hold possession or build better.
Right.
Last year it was kind of like get her the ball and expect her to do something with it.
Yes. Yes. And like because I mean and like they did like Potter did the same with Elise Bennett when he would throw her in there. And
Yeah,
like you can do that with Elise Bennett because
right.
she can make some stuff shake. Michelle Cooper's I mean, hey, so I mean not her strong suit. I
No,
mean she's
she's
much
got a
better in the
shot.
middle. Yeah, no, she's great foot, great feet, but
Yeah.
like much better in the middle, like when like you can set things up for her.
Yeah, that's I didn't like her as a winger as much as like if she was a center forward and they could have held possession a little bit better to get her closer to goal. I think
Right.
she would have scored a lot more goals last year.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's also going to be the thing is when if they can get fully healthy with Davinia back and with Desi back. I mean, do you pair Desi with Claire Hunt? I mean, that was kind of my thoughts coming into the year. I'm like all these midfielders and they're hyping up Claire Hunt. And I'm like, is Lowe going to start?
I know.
Yeah, I was like, is Lowe about to start for this team? I mean, she started and playing well,
Yep.
but I was like, it's a lot of numbers. But I mean, she's playing.
No, she's played really well. It's I think that's been one of their weaknesses the last couple of years is like with all the injuries, they had to kind of rely on her to be a 10, be a creator.
Yes,
And I love Lowe's
we all love
attitude and
yes.
attack and all of that, but she's not that 10 role. I mean,
No,
regardless of what number she wears.
right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, the midfield they have right now is really solid, especially with Claire Hutton Young and
Yep.
playing so well in the six. I mean, so and that's why I'm like, if Desi is back, then who gets the boot? Or, like, do we change formation or move stuff around? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, personally, I probably still roll Claire out there, but bring in Desi to maybe close games out. Uh,
I think that I mean you bring. That's what I'm saying. Because I was wondering if Hutton could be. I mean, I don't know if Hutton has the offensive prowess to go and play higher up the pitch when like Di Bernardo leaves the pitch. I was thinking that could be an option, or maybe Lowe go higher up the pitch. But
yeah.
if you have Claire and Desi with the back line, oh you're set. Oh
Yeah,
you're set.
because Vaco, when he was here with FCKC, would play a 4-2-3-1 a lot. So two defensive midfielders,
Right.
one of them having a little more of the eight attacking role than
Mhm.
the other, but really two D mids. And he almost always had it that way. So I do think if he goes to close out a game, he could move low to the 10 at that spot and then bring in Desi and Claire together. Uh,
Right.
because right now, I mean, I think Desi's not, I don't know if she'll ever be as good as she was a couple, 3 years ago.
Yeah. I
Just
mean.
age and injuries and all that, but
Right.
just the knowledge and the experience being out there and being able to lead, even if she's not as fast or perfect
Mhm.
as she used to be, would be so beneficial for those.
Yeah. I mean that's why. I mean that's probably why Vlaco has like Lowe and Vanessa in the middle to have those two vets in there,
Yeah.
especially with Vanessa can distribute and do all the things, and then Lowe can that allows Lowe for play to play a little more defensively. She doesn't have to play so far off the pitch like she usually does. So
Yep. And just going back to Claire Hutton for a second, because I was really interested with her starting and all that stuff. I thought maybe another player might start in that first game. So I've been trying to watch her and watching going back and rewatch the games. And as the six, I think she's done really well. I mean, she's still not perfect. She's only 18 and
yeah,
3 professional games in,
right,
but some of her passing can be better at this point. So that's why I'm
yeah,
not sure about moving her up to a more of
it,
attacking role yet. I don't know,
exactly.
but
Yeah, yeah. Those her first few touches in the first match, I was like, oh yeah, she got she. I mean, first match, so it's a little shaky, but she got settled in. I mean, the first match, everybody like God, the first 20 minutes of the first match were like it was like I think it was both teams being like ooh
right.
ooh ooh like we knew it was gonna be crazy, but wow like
Yeah, it was crazy for everybody, man. Players, fans, media, you know,
oh yeah.
Mahomes.
Both Mahomeses.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy everywhere, man. It was fun though. It was fun.
Right. Yeah, and also one thing I was surprised at last game was that we didn't see Pfeiffer.
I know. I was a little disappointed because
Yeah.
I was hoping to see her just so I could get some better photos of her running towards the camera instead of because the first game she was on the far end when
Right.
from where I was shooting or allowed to shoot. So I got some good images or okay images, but I just wanted to get some running at me in a game so I would
Right.
have those for stuff. But
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
uh,
But yeah,
as
like especially yeah, if the team looks like this now without Dabinia and like Michelle in this show, like
right,
it's and still Hammy. Like we forget Hammy is like off the Tammy can come off the bench and give you a goal. Like she's done it. So
Oh yeah. That
oh man.
was that was like so funny in the first game. There was fans behind me that just didn't realize that was Spanster out there. They're like because they were like it just didn't cross our mind that it wouldn't be Hamilton starting.
It would be, yes. And the thing is, and that's also crazy too, is that like, in the excitement of like you want to see Bill, you want to see Davinia, you want to see Tim Waugh. I'm like, I hate that. I'm like, oh yeah, Kristen Hamilton, club, I mean, probably club legend. Like, like she's still on this team, y'all. Like, but
Yeah.
that's Hamilton. That's Hamilton. She go come and work.
Sadly, before she came to Kansas City, though, that was kind of her role there too, was more of
Yeah,
a super sub and late games and spot starts. So
right.
that's the problem when you get more talent is sometimes the players that you love don't get as much playtime.
Yeah, it's the circle of life, you go by the wayside.
I know, man. Oh, and we haven't really talked about AD yet, man. She's played pretty darn good this year.
AD French. I mean, what does she have? Like 3 point Blake saves for Portland? And then,
Man,
like, and
I
then
don't know. I lost count.
yeah, I mean, Portland, she showed out like 4 goals, whatever. I mean, like, she's had some really good saves in all three of these matches. Like, every time I'll never count AD French out, no matter how old
No,
she gets, no matter if she gets cut from whatever national team, whatever. AD French will always show up to play. Period. Like it's just inevitable. It's one of those things you just always count on, especially when is I and that's one of the things that the league probably knows now is that like oh shoot KC has like two fire attackers not named Dabinia and yeah, and like the back line gonna be solid, but AD French is still back there and still balling. So we got to get past her.
I know, man. That's you like you said, you just can't count her out, man, at any moment. It's there's been games and there's been stretches where she wasn't at her best,
Hmm.
but even in those games, she would still come up with a big, tremendous save. And
Yes,
when she's at her best, man, she can, like you said, just point blank make three, four saves in a row and just demoralize another team because you're like, one of those should have went in.
exactly. I will never forget. I'll say I will never forget. I don't forget the opponent. What was it? Houston last year when she had that big PK at the end of the other match. Houston at home,
Um,
I want to say.
I think you're probably right, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to go back because it was probably the loudest I've ever heard a current match back when it was at CMP. And I mean, it was mostly because it was the screams of like little girls, but but still, those high pitched screams like almost blew my ears off just because it was. I mean, AD French, just because AD French.
So it's it's one of those they have a couple of good backups. I mean, Jordan, I think, is probably pretty good. She played in Australia over the summer, or I mean, over the winter,
Right.
and all that. But it's going to be hard for her to get any playing time off of AD unless it's in some of those other games that we'll have this summer that the current may or may not be in or
May
whatever.
or may not be. Yeah, yeah. I actually, because I'm a degenerate, I'm always up to like 2 or 3 in the morning, some like most days. So like, I actually caught some Brisbane games with
Yeah,
Silk, and she was really good for them. I mean, their backline wasn't the best, so like, she had a lot of work to do. But
their whole team
so,
wasn't very good,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. There was a reason she was there on loan. So, but nah, she was really good. She made some really good like point blank saves at point. So. No, yeah, she'll get some of those spot starts, and I think Hope also like has a shot to be a decent league starter in her next few years too. So yeah, I think the torch will be passed not even soon, but it if it's passed, it could be passed to either of
Yeah, right. I mean, right now, have to lean towards Jordan just because of the experience. But
them. Of course,
I
yeah, of
mean,
course.
hope, again, rookies, you got to wait till see how they really turn out, but we'll see.
Right.
All right, man. Anything I should have asked you today, man? What did we miss talking about on the current? I know this wasn't quite as organized as I was thinking it would be, but I really never am that
Hey,
organized.
That's how podcasts go. Oh, Cassie Miller also playing like a dog. Oh
Yeah.
wow, like she's been playing so good for Gotham. So next Sunday should be fun. Next Sunday should be fun.
Yeah, that's not going to be an easy game there either, man. There isn't
And
an
like,
easy game.
oh, not in this league. No, never. No, not until like the clock hits zero, or not hit zero. The clock, yeah, the clock is at zero. That's when it's easy. When the match hasn't started. It's like, but
Man.
yeah, even with Gotham losing Mitch Purse, which is devastating. I hate that for her.
Yeah. Midge is such a nice person too.
Yeah, that's great player, great person. She's out. I think Rose Lavelle and Lil Williams still coming back from injuries. So like, I mean, we'll see what Gotham steps on the pitch next week, especially with some of their national teamers coming back from She Believes. So
Yeah. That's actually one of my issues with Rose Lavelle is, as much as good as she is, she's perpetually coming back from injury. It's like I never see her at her best in the last couple of years.
man, it's we've lost so many greats, just like we never saw Sam Lewis and Lil Williams play for the Current.
Yeah. There was a couple minutes there, and that's about it.
Just a few minutes. Well, it's how the game goes sometimes.
It is, man. It's sad, but that's part of sports in general, part of life in general. You just never know. Sam Mewis was one of my favorite players, man, when watching the national team and then not getting to see her play.
Yeah, I remember like going to her press conference was like one of my very first
Yep.
things that I did here. So when they were like super excited that she was here, and I was like, well, darn.
All
But
right, man.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, with 3 games in, man, it's gonna be such an awesome season for KC and an awesome season for the league. So
it's gonna be the shock when they actually lose a game, huh?
I mean, it should be a shock, but yeah. Yeah.
All
And
right.
I think I'm looking at stats and it said the Current Gotham hasn't beat the Current as Gotham. I think
I'm
it's
not
been
sure,
it's
man.
been it's been draws and losses. I mean, no quote me, but yeah, don't hold me to that. But hey, some I'll have to dig into research.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on. Man, gotta have you come on and talk some more soccer.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me. If I feel educated, I will come on. Yes.
I just love the energy you bring, regardless, man. But you are educated on soccer now, so I appreciate it.
Thank you. I
And uh,
appreciate your words.
and we are officially out.